everyone? We have some huge news to cover today. I know I normally don't do intraday videos like this, but we have some pretty big news. We have Microsoft buying out Activision Blizzard for almost $69 billion in cash. So let's get right into it today. We have Activision Blizzard stock up 27%, and that's after the drop it had this morning. So right now it's at like $83. Today, or this morning, it was at $93. To put that into perspective, yesterday, this stock, or not yesterday, on Friday, this stock closed around 65. So it's up a good amount today, and even though the stock's already up, there's still opportunity left in this play. So before we get into the opportunity, I just want to give a little bit of background about what's going on in this scenario. So basically, we all know Microsoft is a powerhouse. They've been one of the best performing stocks over the past couple of years, but Activision Blizzard has also been doing pretty well. Basically, Activision Blizzard is a gaming company, and it is the gaming company that is, I guess you could say, responsible for games like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, and Overwatch. So they're definitely a big player, to say the least. And we know how Microsoft is already a powerhouse, but they're behind Xbox and many other brands. But we can just see, looking at some of the charts for like Activision Blizzard, yes, it's been doing extremely well over the past couple of years, but over the past couple of months, it's definitely taken a good hit, and it looks like Microsoft is really capitalizing off of that, and they're buying them out at a pretty decent level. We all know Microsoft is already a powerhouse, but really, what this deal should do for Microsoft is, one, make them a more dominant player in the gaming industry that is already growing at a crazy pace. So this deal is obviously a huge win for Activision shareholders, because the stock just popped 27% in a day, and it should pop even more by the time the deal closes. But it's also a pretty big win for Microsoft shareholders, because we all know how great of a team Microsoft has, but they're also buying a company that is, I guess you can say, really powerful, but it's also in an industry that is just growing so rapidly. So that's awesome for both parties, in my opinion. Like I said earlier in the video, this is just under a $69 billion buyout. With that being said, if the deal does go through, Activision shares should be bought out for around $95 each. So the stock's at 83 right now. So if this deal does go through, anyone who is holding Activision shares when the deal goes through will be bought out at $95 a share. So we'll talk more about that opportunity in a couple minutes. But this deal is expected to close in 2023, and it is expected to close no later than June of 2023, as long as there's no problems with, like on the legal side of things. Like a lot of times when there's huge buyouts like this, I know some people are going to argue that Microsoft is, having a monopoly over the gaming industry and all this stuff. But as long as there's no legal problems, this deal is set to close in 2023, and specifically no later than June of 2023. But like I said, this as long as there's no legal problems. So with that being said, we do have Activision stock at $83 right now, which is a pretty decent level. Of course, it's up 27% today, but the thing is as long as the deal goes through, you're going to get bought out by Microsoft for $95 a share. So like, let's say you picked up some Activision shares right here at $83. As long as the deal goes through, you'll get bought out at $95. So it's like, that's like a 14.4% return in about a year or so. Maybe a little bit longer than a year, maybe a little bit less than a year, but it's not bad. 14.4%. Like, even if the market crashes, like, of course, like, you would expect Activision to take a hit, but as long as there's no legal obstacles, you'll get bought out at $95 a share. So I've been really tempted to, maybe buy some shares of Activision, because if you can scoop them up at 83 and then you're going to get paid 95 by Microsoft, it's a pretty decent deal. The only the main potential risk is if the deal doesn't go through, which it is what it is, but like, even if the deal doesn't go through, I would still want to own Activision for the long term anyways. So I'm really tempted to like get some shares with Activision. I might sell some puts. I might grab some shares and just play it by ear, but we still have some time for the deal to go through, so well, I guess we'll see how it goes. But looking at the charts for these two companies, Activision and Microsoft, there's three main levels for Activision. If we go on like a 30-day, 1 hour, we could see obviously that $95 level, which is the buyout price. So don't expect it to go past 95 because Microsoft is willing to pay 95 for it. So if you pay more than 95, it's almost like a guaranteed loss. So you don't want to pay more than 95, and it probably won't even get there. But 95 is like the main level. In terms of support, we do have some support right around like $82.50 on Activision. And then that's a pretty big level. It's been bouncing off that multiple times throughout the day already. And then that $80 level on Activision is pretty significant too. So definitely watch those two levels, which is $82.50 and $80. Ultimately, the lower you can get Activision, the better, obviously. But like, let's say this stock drops down to like $80 a share. Maybe you pick up some of it, and then as long as the deal goes through, you'll get bought out for $95 a share. So that's how it stands right now. So there's a decent opportunity. Of course, is it like amazing where you're gonna, 3x your money in a year? No, but still, it's a pretty decent setup. And then shifting over to Microsoft's setup, it's down today, which you can expect. Basically, whenever there's like buyouts, normally the company that is paying the money falls and the company that is being bought out rises, which is exactly what we're seeing today. But Microsoft is struggling a little bit, but honestly, it's down 1%. They're such a powerhouse, and we're seeing increased selling pressure anyways. But I think this deal is going to be huge for Microsoft and Activision shareholders. And there's even an opportunity with buying Activision shares as the deal gets closer. Like I said, I've really been considering, grabbing some Activision shares, maybe selling some puts, but I just want to see how it plays out. Ultimately, what would be like an amazing opportunity is like, let's say 6 or 8 months go by, and let's say the market's struggling a little bit, and Activision maybe goes down to, maybe like $77, maybe $75. And the deal's still looking good. In a perfect world, you'd want to buy shares of Activision then, and then as long as the deal goes through, you get bought out a couple months later at 95. So either way, we'll definitely have our eyes watching this situation week after week. So that should be interesting. But this is big news, and I definitely wanted to cover it. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below.